So, when it's time for a parent to downsize, what's the first thought most families have? We'll do it ourselves. Rent a truck, get the family together for a weekend. We'll save a ton of money. It seems so obvious, right? But what if that's completely wrong? What if doing it yourself actually ends up costing you more? Let's follow the money and see what's really going on.
I mean, we all think this, right? That handling a big move on your own is the absolute cheapest way to get it done. It just makes logical sense. But the real numbers, they tell a completely different and honestly a pretty shocking story.
On the left, that's what we all picture in our heads. The cost of a truck rental, maybe some pizza and beer for everyone who helps out. A few $100, tops. But the reality? That's the number on the right. Research shows the actual average cost for a family to handle a senior move themselves is a staggering $7,966. So, where in the world is all that money going? And get this, that huge DIY cost is only $965 less than hiring a full-service professional team to do literally everything. Think about that. For less than $1,000, you could skip the entire headache. Suddenly the math starts to look very, very different, doesn't it? All right, so let's really dig into this. We need to uncover all those hidden expenses and figure out exactly how a simple truck rental snowballs into an almost $8,000 project. Well, it's not usually one big thing. It's more like death by a thousand cuts. First off, you've got packing supplies. Boxes, tape, bubble wrap, that's hundreds right there. Then there's the almost inevitable storage unit. And what about damaged furniture or broken heirlooms that movers would have insured? But the real budget killer, the one most people totally forget to factor in, is the opportunity cost. Taking 5 to 7 full days off work can mean thousands in lost wages, completely wiping out any of your so-called savings. Okay, so if the cost difference is that small, what are we even comparing this to? What is the professional alternative? Because we're not just talking about your standard moving company here. Let's take a look at what a senior move manager actually does. Think of a senior move manager as a project manager, or maybe a general contractor for the entire move. See, movers just show up on moving day. A move manager, on the other hand, handles the weeks and weeks of prep work that come before. They specialize in the logistics, for sure, but also in the very real, very emotional challenges that come with downsizing a home someone has lived in for 30, 40, or even 50 years. And their scope is huge. They'll create a detailed floor plan for the new home before a single box even gets packed, so you know exactly what will fit and where it will go. They guide you through the sorting process, they can coordinate a proper estate sale to get the most value for leftover items, and they can even manage the complete setup of the new home. We're talking hanging pictures, making the beds, connecting the TV. It's a start-to-finish approach that's really designed to prevent those costly mistakes and, just as important, to lower everyone's stress levels. But honestly, the financial part is only half the story. The real cost, the one that can actually do lasting damage to a family, isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in time, physical strain, and emotional stress. Okay, just look at this timeline. With a professional guiding the process, all the intense active work is concentrated into 3 to 5 weeks. But a DIY project, that typically drags on for 4 to 8 months. Just imagine half a year of your life and your parents' lives being dominated by this constant pressure. It is an absolute recipe for burnout and, yeah, family fights. And when things drag on that long, stuff starts to go wrong. What's the number one reason these DIY projects fail? Family conflict. Yep, a full 30%. Disagreements over what to keep, who gets what. It can cause real damage. Right behind that is physical injury. Someone throws their back out, followed by the regret that comes from making rushed decisions, and the classic mistake of paying to move a bunch of furniture that doesn't even fit in the new place. Okay, so with all of that on the table, how in the world do you make the right choice for your family? Well, this next part offers a pretty clear framework to help you decide. Here's a really simple way to look at it. Hiring a pro is pretty much a no-brainer if you're dealing with a large home, if there are any health limitations, if you're on a tight timeline, or if the family members who can help live far away. Now, going it alone can work, but you've got to have the perfect setup. A smaller home, plenty of local family help, a super flexible timeline, and everyone needs to be in good physical shape. But you know what? It's not always an all-or-nothing choice. There's this awesome middle ground called the hybrid approach. This is where you hire a move manager just for their strategic brain, to create the floor plan and the sorting strategy, but then the family does the actual physical packing and labor. This way, you get professional oversight on the most critical decisions, but you can still save 40 to 50% compared to the full service package. It's a real game changer for a lot of people. All right, so no matter which way you're leaning, pro, DIY, or hybrid, let's wrap up with some really practical, actionable tips that can make any downsizing project go a whole lot smoother.
Okay, when you're staring at a room full of, well, a lifetime of stuff, it's easy to get overwhelmed. This is where the 4-box method comes in, and it's a lifesaver. Every single item you touch goes into one of just 4 categories: keep, donate, sell, or discard. That's it. This simple system gets rid of those, I don't know, maybe piles that just stall all your progress. It can seriously cut down your sorting time by up to 40%.
And here's another place where planning, or not planning, hits you directly in the wallet. A well-planned, well-marketed estate sale can bring back about 65% of an item's value to the seller. But if you wait until the last minute and you're forced into a rushed buyout where someone just offers you a flat price for everything, that return plummets to just 20 to 40%. That difference can easily be thousands of dollars, often more than it would have cost to hire the move manager who would have planned it right from the start. And finally, what do you do with all the sentimental things? The things that are so hard to let go of? Well, you don't have to keep every object to keep the memory. Think about digitizing old photos and home movies. Create one single small memory box for the most precious things. Use your phone to record your mom or dad telling the story behind a favorite piece of furniture. And gift some of those heirlooms to family now so you can actually see them enjoy it. These strategies preserve 100% of the memories while eliminating 90% of the physical clutter. At the end of the day, the most important thing to remember is that this whole process is about so much more than just money or furniture. It's a huge life transition, and it's packed with decades of memories and a whole lot of emotion. So as you plan, the real question your family should be asking isn't, how can we save a buck? It's this: you're moving a lifetime, not just stuff. How are you going to honor that journey?